let me ask you this. So did this footage not come out? Because a couple of these guys, did any of the January 6ers, some of them went to trial, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're at like 1,500 defendants.
Yeah. Did they not show the Capitol? Because obviously the Capitol Police control the footage and the CCTV footage.
Right.
Did they not show that at trial?
Here's how it works. The U.S. Capitol Police is under the legal authority of Title II U.S. Code Chapter 29. And when you look at specifically Section 1979, Paragraph B, it states there that the Capitol Police Board is the controlling decision maker on what information is considered security information and what is not. So then if it's
I see where this is going.
Information and video, they're going to claim that it's security footage.
I see where this is going.
So they won't even release that on the political targets.
So to make this clear,
they're trying to weaponize against.
Just so I can kind of explain this to the audience, because we went into the weeds there, so I'm going to bring it back out to make it easier for them to understand from the law enforcement perspective. So the Capitol Police, right, basically led the charge to get these guys prosecuted. The FBI went ahead and took the case criminally.
Wait, say that again?
So it seems to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, the Capitol Police led the charge to get these guys prosecuted, right?
Yep.
Then turned the case over to the FBI. The FBI did the investigation.
To the DOJ, FBI, U.S. Attorney's Office, yep.
And then when the January 6ers got their discovery, they didn't get the CCTV footage to properly defend themselves because Capitol Police probably argued, hey, it's security footage. We're not going to give it to you guys because we don't have to. And then you just, under the statute you just gave there, Section 2B, I think you said it was. So
1979B, yep.
So the FBI prosecuted it, and they took these guys to trial, but the government didn't have to disclose everything that they needed to under pretenses of security. So Capitol Police didn't have to give the footage.
Wow.
It's even worse than that. Yes, but it's even worse than that. So imagine this. Here we go. I'm going to use a little piece of paper here. So imagine I'm the U.S. Capitol Police Board and Chief. So remember, it's Nancy Pelosi as the Speaker of the House back then and Senate Majority Leader on the other side telling their Sergeant at Arms to tell the Capitol Police Chief and then the General Counsel, meaning the lawyer of the Capitol Police, to say, hey, why don't you go ahead and work with our staff director for the January 6th committee, which is David Buckley, one of the 51 spies who lied that signed on that, and say, hey, let's create a political target list. Liz Cheney's going to participate in that, and Benny Thompson's going to participate with you from the Democrat side, from the Uniparty, and we're going to go ahead and this piece of paper represents the CCTV footage. Oh, wait, there's exculpatory evidence on the political targets we're going after. We're not going to include that, and we're not going to include that, but we're going to include this.
That's a Brady violation.
Send it over to the DOJ.
That's a big Brady violation, and they got away with it.
It's not, because Brady applies to the prosecution, and the prosecution is the DOJ, and the DOJ can't get the original footage because of separation of powers. That's how they did it.
Wow.
That's diabolical.
Because this right here, that I get, like the whole thing right here, I own as U.S. Capitol Police. But now I give you DOJ the remaining. The DOJ does not even know that I gave you the only incriminating. The DOJ doesn't even know about this right here because I never sent it over.
Wow. And
then the DOJ, with their bias, right, then takes this and then puts a little bias on top of it and then says, hey, judge or jury, I know you've spent 2 years consuming the U.S. Capitol's, or I should say Nancy Pelosi's January 6th cover-up committee evidence, which was false, doctored, manipulated also, along with the doctored evidence from U.S. Capitol Police. And now you get to get 100% conviction rate because there's no exculpatory evidence, and the judges won't include personal, individual, how people were out there with their own video cams.
Yeah.
They won't allow it. They'll only allow the governmental stuff coming from the U.S. Capitol Police. And in addition, here's the other piece of paper. Imagine this is what happened, right? Mm-hmm. And this is like the sworn statement of a U.S. Capitol Police officer that bore witness to whatever they're charging the particular J6 defendant for. Well, if I'm the U.S. Capitol Police officer and I sign a sworn affidavit, impact statement saying that so-and-so defendant did the following to me, and I submitted to the general counsel, guess what the general counsel and the acting Capitol Police Chief Yogananda Pittman were doing? They said, if you don't change your testimony to the following, we're going to fire you.
Wow.
So you choose. And oh, by the way, you have to sign an NDA that you're signing this doctored and manipulated and coerced sworn impact statement. Harry Dumb, Acanilo Ganell, 2 U.S. Capitol Police officers that were that were told to create testimony and then also be used on the January 6th committee as witnesses. And then they would be given a book deal. And then they would be, nothing would happen to them other than positive actions. That is the level of I investigated this entire thing. Okay. I got whistleblowers, I got insiders, everybody's telling me about this. That is what happened. And that is why it's so important to have control of the Capitol Police Board. Because when you control the Capitol Police Board, Myron, this is probably the biggest thing that I'm going to say today. If you control the Senate Sergeant at Arms, the Senate Sergeant and the House Sergeant at Arms on each side of the Congress, you control votes. And this is how you control votes. If I control all of the infrastructure, Senate Sergeant at Arms, for example, of the Senate, and every email that's transmitted and every government official issued phone, computer, and email, you're probably going to find some transgressions of staffers and senators in those emails, wouldn't you?
Yep.
And what if you also own, as the Senate Sergeant at Arms, all of the CCTV footage of the entire campus of your respective chamber or Senate or House? Would you suspect that there may be some after hours transgressions maybe taking place?
Of course.
So now I have dirt and blackmail as the Senate Sergeant at Arms for potentially all dirt that is to be had by senators and staffers in those buildings. Is that why potentially Mike Johnson, after meeting with Paul Ryan as his first meeting when Mike Johnson became the speaker, all of a sudden changed his tune on every single issue so that it would be kind of aligned with Paul Ryan's? It's because Paul Ryan, the former Speaker of the House, his Sergeant at Arms was Paul Irving, who later became Nancy Pelosi's Sergeant at Arms, who is nowhere to be seen, retired down in Tampa, Florida, as he is being provided top cover for his role in the Fedsurrection of January 6, 2021. And no one touches him because he has dirt on every single person, left and right, of both political parties at the highest levels.
Wow.
So guys, quick word from our sponsor real fast. You know we don't mess around when it comes to leveling up, and that goes for your coffee too. If you're still drinking that sugary shit, you're already started your morning off wrong. 1775 Coffee's protein creamer is what real men use to start their day. 10 grams of whey protein per serving, designed to build muscle and boost metabolism. Most people are tossing whey protein into their coffee, but we took it a step further and made a creamer with whey protein already built in, no added sugar, just protein. They just dropped this protein creamer along with a whole new lineup. In addition to the classic dark and medium roast, you'll find new coffee pods and a brain-boosting mushroom blend that'll have you focused like a sniper locked in on CNN. Don't start your morning funding the woke mob and dumping garbage into your body. Do it right with 1775 Coffee. Use code FRESH to get 15% off. Guys, I'm drinking 1775 Coffee right now, man. As we walk it like we talk it over here, guys, and they got one that has a protein blend, man, so definitely go show them support. Shout out to 1775 Coffee.